What is your take? Should I keep my gun in a safe at home? Should I keep my safety on my ECC, no round in the chamber? This and more coming up on the Miguel Lopez Show. Hola mi gente, welcome back to another episode. In case you don't know, my name is Miguel Lopez. I'll be your host for today. Before we get started, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not here to change your opinion or where you stand when it comes to gun safety, having a round in the chamber, having a concealed carry permit. That is your personal opinion. I am not here, like I said, to influence or change where you stand when it comes to those. Me, personally, I'm a firm believer of the Second Amendment. Now, when it comes to gun safe or guns in general, there couldn't be a bigger division. Some people believe that only law enforcement should have the right to carry. Others believe that we all should have the right to carry, as stated in the Second Amendment. Personally, I do believe I have the right to carry, and I should carry because I should be able to protect not just myself, my family, and my property, but also be able to protect someone who's in imminent danger, and the police might not be there on time to protect those people. They might not make it on time to protect you. And as you've seen on the news, even some towns are telling people not to call 911 because they are so overwhelmed. So if I am not able to count on them, who I'm going to count on? I always count on myself to protect my family, and that's the reason why I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I want to put another disclaimer out there. I live in a constitutional carry state. I don't need a permit to carry a concealed weapon. However, I do have a permit. I went and did the paperwork and the background and everything and got my concealed carry permit for two reasons. First is who I am as a person. So I just wanted to have a concealed carry permit. Second, I'm in a border state, so I could go from my state into two different states within minutes, and they are not constitutional carry states. So as you can see, I do not want the headache of going into another state with my ECC and not having the permit. That doesn't look good. So that's the second reason why I got my permit. So now, like, I could just cross within those states because my license and my current state, they reciprocate in those states, so I don't have to do any other paperwork. So as we continue moving along, let's say you live in a permitless state and you are thinking about owning a gun, purchasing your first weapon. Before you even do that, you should know the 4 safety rules when it comes to guns. For training purpose, I am going to switch to my training gun, as you can see, with the orange tip. This is a toy gun. There are no live ammo, nothing in this gun. So this will be perfect for the training scenario. So, rule 1, treat every weapon as if it were loaded. What does that mean? If I come to this weapon right here, I would treat it as if it was loaded. I don't care if I'm the one that put it there. I don't care if my friend put it there and he said or she said that it's clean and clear. I do not trust them when it comes to this, when it comes to weapon. I treat every weapon as it was loaded. So this will go like this. Put my safety on. Release the magazine. I will rack the weapon. Now, if this was my rear gun, since I took the magazine off, it will lock to the rear. And so basically I will check here, stick my finger, make sure there are no rounds. So that's how I treat every weapon. Rule number 2, always point your gun in a safe direction. This is like, let's say that's downrange, I will point my gun in a safe direction. I will never flag anyone just for training purpose. Like, I'm flagging right now. Like, I am literally flagging my hands. I will never do that. Don't flag yourself, don't flag people. Always point your weapon in a safe direction. And the best safe direction is when you are at the rifle range, is down range. That is your safest direction. Rule number 3, keep your finger straight and off the trigger. What does that mean? You see, my finger is straight and off the trigger. My finger is not resting on the trigger guard because the difference from moving my finger where it's resting right now to putting on the trigger is minimal. So you do not want to do that. Keep your finger always straight with your weapon, off the trigger, and that's the safest way. Don't put it here, because if you're at the range and I'm a range safety officer like I used to do in the military, if I see your finger anywhere in the trigger guard, I will lose it and I will go off on you. So always ride your weapon with your finger. Keep that index finger off the trigger. Rule number 4, keep your safety on, weapon on safe until you are ready to fire. What does that mean? For example, my safety is still on, I'm pointing down range, I see my target, I'm aiming at my target, and now I'm ready to fire. So I will take my safety off, breathe in, breathe out, and when I'm ready, I will squeeze the trigger and release my round. But do know, on rule number 4, keep your safety on until you are ready to fire. Also, be aware of your target, what's in front of it, what's behind it, and what's beyond it. Because the minute you shoot a round downrange, you are responsible for that round until it lands. You are 100% responsible. So always make sure you are aware of your target surrounding, and that includes what's in front of your target, what's behind your target, what's to the side of your target, what's beyond your target, because like I say, you are 100% responsible for any rounds that leave your weapon. And those are the 4 gun safety rules. So just to recap real quick, treat every weapon as if it was loaded. Always point your weapon in a safe direction. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger. Keep your weapon in safe until you are ready to fire, and that includes knowing your target perimeter. So that is what's in front of it, what's behind it, what's to the side of it, and what's beyond your target, because you are 100% responsible for every round that leaves your gun. Okay, as we continue moving along, now you know your 4 safety rules, which every person should know whether you own or do not own a weapon. So for question number 1, should I keep a safe at home and put my weapons inside the safe while I'm at home? It is, like I said before, I'm not here to change your opinion. Me personally, I do keep a safe at home. I believe I should keep a safe at home, and I keep my weapon inside my safe. Just one, and then I got my ECC. I keep it with me at all time. Reason for me keeping a safe at home is because I do have kids, and I have not gone through any training with them. Okay, before you all kill me, like I know some of you feel some type of way about having a safe at home. You think it defeats the purpose of owning a gun because action always beats reaction. But that's your opinion, that's where you stand. I personally, like I said, I do keep a safe at home because I have not trained my kids on gun safety. I have not teaching the good and bad and everything that comes with owning a gun. Still with my training gun, all they know is that carries a weapon on him, and he hopes that he never has to use it. And just because I haven't trained my kids doesn't mean they don't know some of the gun safety. So for example, I could leave this weapon right here and walk away. They will not touch it, not because they know better, but because they have been taught well. And like I said, they know this is not a toy, this is not something we play with. This is something that I carry to protect our family, our property, and anyone we can protect that is in imminent danger. So they know this is not a toy. They don't play with the gun. They don't touch the gun. And I am going to teach them how to shoot. I'm going to train it. But I'm waiting until I go to the rifle range so I could coordinate with one of the instructors so they could teach my kids the safety, everything that comes from owning a gun, because if I do it, I might be a little bit too aggressive and they might just get scared of learning how to use a weapon. So I think having a third party teaching while I'm still there to give them that comfort, know that everything is safe, and I will go through the training as if I don't know how to do any of this. So they know that just because I've been using a weapon, shooting a weapon for many years, I still gotta do refresher. I still go through the training. I still refresh myself every now and then, because I don't ever want this to not be the safest way of teaching my kids. Anyways, I could continue going on this road because some people are like, oh, you shouldn't teach your kids how to handle a weapon, how to shoot. No, I'm not gonna teach them how to just go and shoot. They're gonna be in a safe environment, in an educational environment, and that's what they will learn how to use and handle a weapon. Some people might say they're not old enough to do this stuff, but those are the same people that think that my kids are old enough to make their own medical decision, which, if you think they're old enough to make a alter the body with these medical decisions, then they should definitely be old enough to understand how to use a freaking damn weapon. I am going to teach them so they could learn, because believe it or not, I have friends who are adults, old men, old women, and I could give them this weapon and they don't know what to do with this weapon. I know you might don't like weapon or anything, but you should train yourself on understanding how to use a weapon, because you never know. This is the last resort that your family is in danger, and let's say somebody broke in your house and they happen to drop this same weapon that they're trying to shoot your family, and you grab it. What will you do with it? You have no idea. You have never touched a weapon. You don't know how to do it. And not every weapon has a safety, just so you know. So you should train and familiarize yourself with weapons so you are knowledgeable. Doesn't mean you have to shoot and go to the range and learn how to shoot, but at least go and train yourself to understand the basics of owning a weapon. My bad, I just get really into it when it comes to this subject. So for question number 2, should I keep my safety on? No round in the chamber. Or should I have my safety off? 1 round in the chamber on my ECC. Personally, I think that depends on who you are, on the person. On my ECC, I have 1 in the chamber and my safety is on. But that is just me, because it's what I felt comfortable with. It's what I trained for many years in the service. And it's what I have always done. You might hear some people say, like, this is my safety. So I will give you an example why some people say this is your safety, which ultimately, keeping your finger straight off the trigger is your best safety. So let's say this is my toy gun. It has a safety, so I could play with the safety, put it on and off. Take the magazine, rack it back and forth. It's a safe gun. So let's say, for example, I switch to my real weapon. So this right here is the Cani TP9 SF. So this is a real gun. As you can see, it's safe. I have no rounds. I'm checking it. No magazine. The chamber is clear. My finger is straight off the trigger. So let's say I'm gonna send this forward. So right now, as you can see, this weapon, I have no safety anywhere on this weapon. There is no safety. The only safety on this gun is my finger. So that's why some people say keep your finger straight off the trigger. So I'm used to carrying 1 in the chamber and safety off. So this is perfect if I'm carrying this weapon, because there is no safety. So I'm not used to having a safety on. And like I said, is muscle memory for me. It's muscle memory for me, but I do gotta say, if it's your first time owning a gun, if you are a new person, a new ECC carrier, do go get yourself trained, get the necessary skill that you need and the confidence to be able to conceal carry and have one in the chamber and safety off, even just to carry a weapon. Forget the safety, forget the having one in the round, forget all of that. Before you own a weapon and carry a weapon, you should go and get yourself trained with the basics, marksmanship, everything that comes from owning a weapon. You should not carry a weapon just because you don't need to get a permit or anything, unless you have the training and necessary skill. And even me, like, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still go and get trained. I still go through the basics. I still go to the range as many times as I can, and I practice. I take classes. Like, I don't rely just on my skills. I go and seek help from other individuals that have been shooting professionally longer than me, and ask for tips, like what's the best way to carry my weapon. Anything that can help me and be more knowledgeable about my weapon, I would do. So if you are a first-time carrier, I do believe that you should go and get yourself trained. Get the necessary skill and improve your confidence before you even try to carry a weapon. Because, like I tell my kids, this is not a toy. This is an instrument to keep yourself, your family, and your property safe. So if you don't get the necessary training, how are you going to do that? Just because you have a gun doesn't mean you know how to shoot. Just because you shot a couple of rounds doesn't mean you have the confidence to know how to shoot and hit your target. So train, don't stop training. And that's the best way for you to improve your confidence and everything that comes from owning a gun. So get trained, don't stop training, always train. Gun safety rules: keep your fingers straight and off the trigger. Always point your weapon in a safe direction. Know your target before you shoot. What's behind it? What's in front of it? What's to the side? What's beyond it? Because ultimately you are responsible. The minute you put a trigger, you are responsible for any round that leaves your weapon. So I just want to know, where do you guys stand? What is your input? Should you keep a safe at home and your weapons in it and not carry while you are home? Should you keep your safety on, no round in the chamber, nothing? Or should you keep your safety off, round in the chamber? Post your comments below, and I'd love to see where you stand. What's your input? I already told you where I stand, and I'd like to know, where do you stand?